Welcome back to my game room, and as many of you know, I don't really film many videos over here, so sorry about any poor lighting or anything. But when I bring you over here, I want to show you a product really in its raw form using it, and that's exactly what we're doing today with this microphone. This is the Lewitt Ray Microphone. We also have it connected up to the Lewitt Connect 2. As you can see, the microphone here is the Connect 2. And before I started this test, I reset everything back to factory settings. So you're getting that raw experience, no tweaking within the software, editing or anything. That is what you're hearing right now. And as far as my game room, I have a ceiling fan on, a light right over there with a fan inside it. My PC's chugging, and it just started downpouring outside. And I don't have any crazy sound morphing in here or deadening. I got some pictures, some shelves, a couch, some TV. So again, it's just a basic game room. This is not a studio. I don't have anything crazy in here. And that's what I wanted to give you, again, is that raw experience of this microphone. And I will pair it up and do some testing compared to one of my favorites being the Elgato Wave 3 microphone. We'll test it up to that. And then the new Razer one. I forget what this microphone's called, but this is the new Razer microphone that came out. Now, just to be clear, yes, this Lewitt setup does cost a bit more than, again, those microphones over there. So not a true fair comparison, but I want to see raw with you guys here is, does this more expensive setup sound better? Is it worth that extra money compared to something like that? So you can get for around 150, 200 bucks or something like that. Let's talk about this microphone here. It is XLR and it's going into the Lewitt Connect 2. And how I have the microphone set up is just a basic stand over. This is, okay, I say basic. It's a really heavy duty stand. And it is sitting on my desk here. No stand comes with the microphone. But what does come with the microphone is, sorry about any loud noise right there, comes with your little pop filter, Lewitt logo on the back, and then this little windscreen or whatever you call it here. And this is how it sounds like with neither of them on. Me personally, I always like putting any kind of filters on there just because, and you don't have to run both. You can run one or the other. But I like all of them. Y'all know I got a lot of P's and T's. They're quite prominent, and now this is what it sounds like with both of them on there. So if I can reduce some of those S's that are real sharp with me, or those P's that are popping, hopefully I can reduce some of that in here and again help it out a little bit. Now again, focusing on the microphone here, one of the things I really love, it has this aura feature on it, and you can see the lines kind of moving around on the microphone, and it has two sensors right on the side of that. What it does is really adjust my level. So if I scooch back, you can see the lines will move back a little bit. If I scooch closer, it shows again how far you are away from the microphone. But the really cool thing about that here is the mute button. Not just that it mutes, but you're probably going to get some sound interruption here. I'm going to hold down the mute button for 3 seconds. Now it is flashing, and I'm going to scooch right back to 3 notches right there, which scoots me back from my desk. Okay, and now we're back where it says mute is green, and it's showing that mute function's active. So I'm right up on the microphone. I'm gaming here. You see where that red line is, and that's where it's going to mute. So what's cool, I'm going to scooch back again. So what just happened there is whenever I scooched back to that setting I had as far as those sensors with that red line, the mic will mute itself. So you can scooch it further back if you want, but what I like about it right there, it's kind of like, okay, I'm gaming, I'm using it here, but I can take it. So that is super cool. Again, so my mic's usually sitting over here on my desk, right? I don't use an arm, and I can just shove it aside, and it'll mute by itself. Now the stinker about that, whenever it does mute, it doesn't show muted over here on the Connect 2. That goes the same with if I was to mute it over here. So I'm going to turn off this mute function real quick as far as the distance, which again is super cool on this. So again, I'm going to hold it down for 3 seconds. Now that mute function is off, and you can mute it through the button on the microphone or over here on the Connect 2. Now, again, the stinker about that is whenever I mute it over here, it doesn't show muted here. And same, it doesn't, if I mute it on the microphone, it doesn't show it on the Connect 2. Now, of course, the microphone goes down, so that's an indicator, but I would like it all to show up red, like when you mute it on the Connect 2. That's a little bit of a stinker right there, but it's super cool. You got multiple functions within this. Mute it on a microphone, mute it on there, mute it for the distance. It's So darn cool. So you know you're never going to get any, again, those sounds coming through that you don't want on there. You know what I mean? Now, talking about the Connect 2, before I show you the software and start tweaking stuff, the Connect 2, there's a lot of functionality within this as well. Number one, on the back, you got your headphone ports. It's powered via USB, speaker ports, you have instrument port, your phantom power, and then your XLR port for, again, your microphone. And yes, you can use any XLR microphone with this. On the front side of the Connect 2, you have your mute button. The little dial right around there, where you can see it kind of moving, is actually your volume dial for your microphone or your speakers or your headset or an instrument. And then you have a shortcut button right there, which I keep mine set as the brightness, so I can adjust the brightness of the Connect 2 if I'm gaming in a dark environment. So with this combination here, you're seeing there's so much customization just at your hands, on your desk. So much you can do. Again, I don't utilize everything that's built into this. I use the microphone, and I dabbled with the headset to see if it, again, amplified it up. I use the iFi Zen Stack, as a lot of you know, and I will say the Zen Stack amp and DAC over there is a whole lot more cleaner than this and gave it a little bit more body in the background. This worked and it did it, but again, when I'm used to something like that dedicated for just sound, that is what I will stick to. But I also want to dive in here and show you the Lewitt Control Center. This is for the Connect 2, and you're going to be able to adjust a lot of those settings that we looked at on the Connect 2 itself. But just running through it, you can see your microphone over here. And again, I set all this to factory settings. That's what you've been hearing right now. Nothing adjusted, which I'm going to show you something pretty cool here in a second with this. But here's everything we got set. Over here is your sample rate. You can come over here in the settings as far as audio, what different settings you want in there. Over here is your LEDs, so whenever you're muting it, or your meter, whenever it's going up and down, to let you know. Really cool to be able to adjust that stuff to what you would like. And then, of course, your brightness over here. Now, that custom button, as I show you, you can adjust it over here. I always keep mine to toggle brightness settings, but again, everything is off because I did reset the settings just to be able to show you guys it at a raw performance. But I'm going to close that out. Those are some of your customization. And again, you got your instrument and any of this mixing if you're using multiple inputs. Me, I'm pretty much just microphone here. So what I want to show you is up here in auto setup. So let's click that. And what we're doing is the microphone here. So we're going to go through this together. I'm going to click on this. We're going 48, right? And the cool thing is it shows you everything in here. We're recording bass, heavy instruments, right? Vocal recording. So I really love how it's showing you. I'm no mic expert, right? So I love it kind of holding my hand through these steps. So low cut on. And right now it's going to do, again, a performance test in 2 different segments. So you might not hear me a little bit this, but I'm So right now it just picked up my voice, and now it's over here asking what we want here as far as our preamp. Smooth, high-end, rich body, open and lively sound, unparalleled clarity, captures raw signal and processes it later. I think I would want rich body. I'd want to go warm here. So we're going to go with that. Provides a constant level as far as a compressor, capture raw signal. Again, I feel like a lot of this raw stuff is more for serious people. I just want that good quality sound. Denoise, we're going to go with that, again, because I got some room noise. My son's gaming across. And now we're going to do this here, which is going to capture my room environment. So you're probably not going to be able to hear anything on this test. And now it's asking us if we want clip guard on, which I always do in case you get really loud, you get excited. It's going to prevent that really high kind of static at the end when you get really crazy and excited. So let's keep that on. Now it's showing all the settings. It's selected there, finish. And now you're hearing the microphone with all the settings we just created right there. And again, it'll differ to what you want. Do you want your microphone? I click it right here, sounding vivid. This is it sounding vivid, where it'll be a little bit more brighter. We come over here to clean, and this is what it's sounding like as clean. Me personally, I like my microphone sounding kind of warm. It kind of, whenever you're hearing other people's microphones as well, that warmer microphone settles it down a little bit so you can still hear your dialogue and what's going on in the game. That's just my personal preference. Like when I'm hearing someone else's microphone, I don't like that real high pitched or noisy microphone. I like that warm one that's just kind of in the background. And that's what I think we're getting right here. And now you're hearing the Elgato Wave 3. Again, this is straight plugged and played, no tweaking or anything. You can see all of our Lewitt devices are disconnected. And again, you're hearing straight up the Elgato Wave 3. This has always been one of my favorite microphones. I love the simplicity of it. I just love the natural sound right out of the box, simply plugged and played. I think it's $130, so it doesn't break the bank by any means. It's just a great mic. I actually use one over on my iMac as well for whenever I'm doing Zoom calls and stuff. It's always been one of my favorites, but right now I'm just kind of want to get that sample again, compared to the Lewitt to this one, even though this setup is, significantly more expensive. I think you can buy like 2 or 3 of the Elgatos for the price of the Lewitt setup right here. So again, it really depends on how serious are you about your microphone setup. The thing I love about the Lewitt, not to get back on that, is the versatility. How much you can really do with it, how many different microphones you can use with it. Again, XLR, so on and so forth. But anyways, I just wanted to give you that example from the Elgato to the Lewitt here. I forgot to do a keyboard test actually, so let me go on and put the Elgato over here to the side. I'm going to bring my keyboard up here. Let's disconnect that. And if I was typing with my microphone right over here just sitting on the desk. Now, I don't use an arm as I don't like microphone arms, but I just want to give you a sample of, say if, again, the microphone was sitting up here on an arm and I'll type on the keyboard. So we're not getting some of that vibration coming through since this is on kind of a little chintzy basic included stand here, right? So now we got to listen to both of it. Say if you had it on an arm or just sitting on your desk. What I really wanted to see there was how much vibration, again, comes through the desk into the microphone. As on the Lewitt, we have a shock mount, which once we plug this back in and get back to the Lewitt, the Ray microphone, we'll do that keyboard test as well because I'm curious how much dampening that's actually going to do there. And now you're hearing the new microphone from Razer, being the Seiren V3 Chroma. And I can just tell you, looking at the graph here, this one's picking up a little bit lower. So, I mean, I can dial it up just a pinch right here and just see if it's starting to sound a little bit better here. This microphone, whenever I reviewed it, I remember it sounded really good. Like I was shocked how good the Razer microphones got. They got a little pop filter built into the microphone and everything. I love the little touch mute function, which also is on the Elgato there. It's on a basic included stand. So again, you can put it on an arm if you want. Right now, I'm just holding it up here. But again, I'm really excited for this one to see, because I remember this one had a little bit more of a warmer sound compared to some other microphones, which even the budget Razer one, I forget, the little mini, it sounded really nice too. I was really shocked. Man, that's a $40 microphone. That sounded pretty good. But anyways, let's go on and get this keyboard test. Again, I'm going to set it right on the desk over here. I had to get back with you right there. I forgot my keyboard was plugged in. I'm doing that sound test there, and I stopped the darn recording. So anyways, I am back onto the Razer one here. Oh, wow, just peaked up a whole bunch. So whenever you come closer to the Razer, what I'm noticing is coming closer, it really peaks up. Coming further away, it drops down significantly. So that's pretty cool. So let me tone this volume down a little bit. So if you were to have it on an arm and it's right up here, like right, you can see it peaking red. So let's tone it down a little bit more. So when I put it right here, that's probably perfect right there. It's looking. So you can see when it peaks red, that's what I really like about this. With the Chroma, we think, oh, I don't need a microphone with RGB. But it's real cool. It lets you know when it gets into the red and you're getting a little bit too loud on it, or green whenever you're good, you know. So really cool. This seems pretty perfect right here. But again, if you pull it away, it's really interesting to see how much it drops off. I mean, that is pretty darn cool with this microphone. And now we're back to the Lewitt Ray connected to the Connect 2. That is exactly what you're hearing. And I want to do that keyboard test as well. With this microphone just sitting right here, it's on the desk just to get that fair comparison. So I can tell you it's still picking up on the graph, and over here on the Connect I can see it's still spinning quite a bit. Now this thing is again on a quite a heavy stand, but I want to pick it up just to give it again that test of say if it's on an arm. Good mercy, the stand is so heavy. So let's do that keyboard test. So there we go with the keyboard test on the Lewitt Connect 2 and the Ray there. And I can tell you it did pick up a little bit right there. The thing again that I love about this, and I go on and on as I spoke about it before, is simplicity. Like you got a really high-end setup, sound, XLR in control center here, but it's all so easy to use, and I can't state it enough how much I love that distance for muting in case you forget to mute it, right? Like, yeah, you got a mute button there and a mute button there. You might be like, oh, this is overkill, but it's super cool because if you forget, you got to run to the bathroom or whatever, it's going to mute for you right there. So I don't know. To me, that is a super cool. Y'all know I love those mute notifications knowing you have it. Then you got, again, the graph down here letting you know how loud your microphone is if you're peaking or something like that. It really just does everything for me. Now, when we go in here and look at the Lewitt Microphone and Connect 2, the Ray is coming in at $350. Connect 2 is coming in at $200. So we're talking $550 for this setup. I agree. It's expensive. It really is. Again, compared to the other microphones at around $150. So we all know a lot of people are into the, man, what are those real popular streamer microphones? Rhodes or something? I don't know what they are. A lot of people use XLR microphones. When you get into this quality, this is the price tag you're pretty much looking at, if not more. So I honestly think what it's packing is fair. Again, it's up to you to decipher. Is it that much my microphone? Is it that worthy to justify that kind of money? You know what I mean? How often do you use a microphone? Maybe you come down here to one of the cheaper options. You know, it seems like the 440 Pure is pretty close to the Ray. You don't have the Aura, the adjustable mute, and some of the settings are a little bit lower. But again, maybe you can go that route and save a little bit of money. Again, I love the Connect 2. It's such a great device. And maybe if you already got an XLR, you can play around with that. But I think the Ray really shines, again, with that adjustable mute function right there. So as far as the Lewitt Connect 2 and Ray microphone, I really like it. Yes, it is expensive. I agree with you. And like I stated before, it's really only up to you to decipher, is it worthwhile and does it justify that price tag? Because yes, these other microphones are great. As you just heard in the sound test, the Wave 3 is phenomenal. I use one over there as well, you know. So again, it's really got to matter to you how serious and what kind of customization will you utilize all the functions out of this, you know what I mean? I think it's super cool, and the functions and the features built into it are super awesome. That's why it's been staying on my desk. Usually I test a product, okay, it's gone, I'm on to the next one, but this one's been staying on my desk and I had a good time with it. So I don't know. I think it's pretty neat, and I love the tech built into it. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments right there, and I hope this test, this raw, real test, was able to help you out. Again, let me know if you think this justifies the price and what you thought about this microphone, or do you think the two other cheaper options will be just justifiable, and those will be perfectly fine. So anyways, thank you so much for coming by for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope I was able to help you out. If I was, please hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope I catch you in the next one. Bye now.